So we have a little bit of an unusual problem here because we have a minimum order. So that's not a variable cost because you can't buy them one at a time as activity moves around. So from 0 to 209, it's fixed. 210, you have another chunk of fixed costs coming along. So it's kind of a step cost. So for everything from 0 to 29, that order cost is fixed. So it makes it a little bit more of an analytical problem than using the formula you're used to. So let's lean into their logic. So we're going to figure out what is the profit for one batch of 209 sweatshirts, and then see how many batches we need to get to our target, because we can't do it on a per unit basis as if the cost of the sweatshirts was variable, since it's really not. All right, let's see. The sales price here is 44. There is a variable cost other than the cost of the sweatshirts, which is the commission. And then for one batch, there'd be 209 units. And your contribution margin, your sales minus your variable cost. Okay, we can get that math and get those totals. And so our contribution margin for just one batch, and then the cost of the batches here is 209 times 22. So your profit off of one batch of 209 is 3135. The minute you go to 210, that fixed cost doubles. So how many batches do we need basically to get to our target? So our target was 12,540. On the profit in a batch is that. So how many batches? All right, we would need exactly 4 orders that sold completely to get to that profit. So 4 batches of 209 units, or 209 times 4 units. So what is break even? So here the fixed cost, at least up to 209. Well, let's see if that break even is below 209. Contribution margin per unit is the 37. 124. So that's below 209, so we're good. Otherwise, we'd have to go back and revise the fixed cost to be however many batches this ended up being. But here, one batch will cover it, but that batch is fixed all the way up to 209. All right, and then for break even in sales dollars, we would get the contribution margin percent, which is the contribution margin divided by sales. And it doesn't want you to round that. It wants you to leave all those decimal places in there. And then you can do your math. And so your break even in sales, both the units and the sales are below the batch, because look at how much sales are in a batch. So that's clearly below one batch. So you would treat the batch cost as fixed. Unusual. We'll be talking about batch cost from time to time, and so they're a step cost. They're fixed, but only for a short period of time. So we call that a step, but it's in increments, fixed increments. It's not completely variable where all the activity makes it jump around. So then it says how many sweatshirts would you need to get this profit of 14,107. So the profit for 4 batches was this 12,540, and the profit for 5 batches would be the 12,540 plus another batch, and we know each batch is giving us profit of the 3,135. So our target is in between the two, right? But we can't do fractions of a batch. So we can't do 4 batches. It won't be enough because 4 batches is 12,540. So we need to buy 5 batches to get to the target profit that they're asking for. So 5 batches. So the fixed cost would be the cost of 5 batches. So this times 5. And we can tell that because the target profit is between the profit of 4 and the profit of 5. And then the contribution margin per unit is the 37. And we want to add the target profit to that fixed cost. And that was 14,107. And so how many units is that? 1,003. So that was tricky. That was a tricky one. All right, so there you go.